I got ambushed in a UFO Twitter space a couple times, and I just want to talk about that a little bit because it's been a very long, I don't know, it's been like over a year, I think, since I've like really like crashed out and what I consider crashing out. To these guys are getting drunk and crashing out once a week, but like it seems like if I get worked up about anything, you know. But the Tupa crew and those wankers are still spreading that shit about my friends, and I was well, let's just start it at the beginning. These they're like been trying to include us and like, oh, we wanna, you know, the UFO Twitter war's over and everything, but I can't fucking go in those spaces without getting put on blast for something. And I even told them like it's not gonna change. Like I still think you all are nefarious and up to some shit, but I'll hang out in spaces with you and you can hang out in mine. I don't give a fuck. But what happens is like I show them respect when they're in my spaces. Panda fell asleep in my space the other night for like 4 hours on speaker. I think his mic was even open some of the time. Nobody fucked with him. If anybody would have, I would have told him to fuck off. But if it was the other way around and I would fall asleep in one of their spaces, they'd be calling me a junkie and all kinds of shit. But nobody, you know, so like they're not giving the same respect that they're demanding. And I ran a poll the other day. I'm getting rumors kicked to me in DMs and stuff about Tupa and Panda actually working for somebody. That there is someone kind of giving them orders on what narratives to push and who to suppress, and that they're actually what they accuse this hate group of being that they claim works for Lou Elizondo. Now, is it Greer? Is it someone like that? I don't know, like who the fuck they're working for, some unnamed source. But I used to think it was bullshit, but I'm starting to fucking see it. And I ran a poll, a simple yes or no poll. It wasn't even biased. It just asked, "Do you think Tupacabra 2 and Panda are working for someone or getting paid to spread division on the app or something?" Well, it was dominantly yes. It was like 80% yes and like 10 per or 15. It was like 85 yes, 15% no. Well, Tupa, like I'm in this space just hanging out. I think it was like Logan or Flak Magnet space. And he comes in there just to fucking, I don't know if he was already in there, but he immediately comes at me to start fucking asking me about this stupid poll. And I'm like, what do you want to know, dude? It's a yes or no poll, and it shows that a good chunk of the community thinks you're nefarious. Like, what do you want to know? And so he immediately started clowning that there was only like 30 something, 40 samples, people that did the poll. Well, I only have like 500 or 600 followers, so that's expected. But that's irrelevant. So what he did was he immediately started attacking the fact that I'm a small account, and so my voice doesn't matter. This is one of the tactics he uses. But the picture size, now if it was like 2 or 3 people maybe, but 40 people, like that's a good chunk. Like that's a handful of the community getting, and it's people like it's the members of UFO Twitter because everyone has me unblocked now. I mean, how many people do you think are in this hate group you all talk about? I hear you name KMF and Uplifting and Darren. So that's 3. Who's these other 40 people that think y'all are shady? And that's what he was upset about. Is that they're not mad that I'm running these polls. They're upset at the results because it paints a picture that they don't agree with. And what these guys did was started claiming that people are paying me to like run these polls and try to and I've been talking about this for a while in my rants that I post. Once I start gaining a little momentum and building a follower count, even if it's slow, they block and key in, and that's what they're doing. So Tupa started attacking me about the poll. I explained it, what my motive was behind it, just to gauge the community, see where they're at. And so the poll is, and I find people are real honest on these polls because it's anonymous, yes or no, and you're not out there. But what these assholes did was started saying I was being paid by someone, which they, is what they're being accused of. It's always, they're always projecting. But, that I was being paid to, like, troll Tupa and run these polls. And, they were accusing, of course, certain people. And they started demanding, like, that I tell them who has donated money into my Buy Me Coffee account. I've never heard anyone be like, "Hey, we want to see who's in your Buy Me Coffee." I'm the first that I've ever heard that happen to. And they wanted to know, like, who's been giving you money recently, and I straight up told them, most of your friends. When you guys sit in these spaces for hours on end and try to convince the entire community that I'm evil and to hate me, a lot of these people get sick of it and they come over and put money in my Buy Me Coffee. And then they send me a DM and say, "Keep your head up, bro." And Tuba like flipped on, "No, bullshit, bullshit." Well, Logan went and it's public knowledge. You can see who put money in my Buy Me Coffee. And he read off like the recent names because I think it cuts off after like a month or something. And it was all people that partake in Tupa spaces. It was like, Pizza Slayer and I think Naga and Tiff and Tabby Cat. Like it was all just like I said. And dude, it melted his mind. Like when they get proven that like I'm just being real and with them and honest, it fucking drives them nuts. So then it turned to the stupid shit with Darren and they I was explaining that like that space that all that in the week it was a couple day incident. It all was crazy. Like this girl was having an obvious meltdown on these spaces. She was talking about like hearing voices and the people could control her TV from Twitter spaces and that she was confused. She was asking people like for help. Like I'm confused. And dude, they spent 6-8 hours trying to calm this girl down. Her baby was crying in the background the whole time. It was horrible to listen to. Someone called CPS on her. Well, these assholes have been terrorizing this guy for 2 years over it now. And dude, he did nothing wrong. Like, and they were all in there ambushing me over that. And, because they got me outnumbered. And, I was talking about that space, that a lot of that shit was around. Like, you guys were there, you were listening. Like, she needed someone to check on her. It was obvious. And at first, Tupa was like acting like, "What space? I don't even remember this space. Is he just making this space up?" And this is a tactic they use constantly. At first, it started out as I'm just creating this space out of nowhere. Well, we broke off eventually because I can't argue with someone who's being. They were all in the space. Like, you're being nefarious unless you just have shit memory. Well, 2 hours later, we're in another space, and all of a sudden, Tupa remembers the space now. Well, it was a small space that went all night. So suddenly he remembers in detail the space. That's why I lost my temper and left the space. It's because you can't argue with that. Like this guy is making you prove every single aspect of it, even though he knows the truth. And you know he knows the truth because he was there. You're man to man looking at each other like, dude, you were in that space and I know you saw how that girl was acting. But I can't prove that. Like prove it. But they were all there. But the Tupa crew all gets in line and will lie for each other so the other people don't look bad because, they don't want Ocean to look bad. And then, they'll cover for Tupa. And, like, if someone, gets arrested for beating on a girl, they'll cover for him. And, like, they do this shit. They all get in line. So you can't win that argument. Because Tupa kept asking, like, "Okay, well, who was in these spaces? Who can vouch for you?" It's all the Tupa crew. Because at that time, I was in with, like, Logan and those people. I was in those spaces, friends with them. Those guys aren't going to vouch for me. They're not going to be my witness. They're all in line covering for that girl so she doesn't feel bad, which is fine, dude. I understand that. Like, nobody, and that's not the aim to make that girl look bad. If they weren't weaponizing that whole situation, like I said in my other rant, it would never come up. But that's why That's why I kind of lost my cool in the space and just left. It wasn't like you win, I'm out of here. It's just when someone is denying reality and they're just claim and making you like inch by inch prove everything, even though they're not privy to the same standards. They can just say whatever. You can't win. So I got testy and I was just like, you guys are fucking stupid. I'm out of here. And what triggered me was Tupa all of a sudden remembering the details of the space. Even though 2 hours ago he was just calling me a liar, saying I was making it all up. Like, what do you do from there? Like, he's only remembering what he wants to remember at that point. Like, you can't. That's nefarious and disingenuous. You can't go anywhere in that argument. So I just disengaged and left. But what really bothered me is one of the arguments Tupa used was uh, I'm not taking Xanax and opiates and drugs, so my word is worth more than yours. Well, first off, I've never discussed my drug use with you, so keep your fucking mouth shut. Like, you guys all live these little lives as these online characters. How do you know I'm not just making that up as my gimmick and character? I've never gone into detail with you about my drug problems. So are you just pulling that out your butthole? Like, what are you talking about? And he brought that shit up like because I have problems with benzos and opiates that my word is worth less than everyone else's. Well, these guys like that were sitting in the space are supposed to be my friends. Chase was the main one. These guys are drunken goons on a weekly basis, and no, like you're not allowed to call them on it. I've never been belligerent like that in one of those spaces. Never. The only thing I've done is got ragey, but I'm always coherent. Like I'm never like sloppy and slurring and spouting women hate and like these assholes to just sit there and be like, yeah, yeah, man, he's kind of right. Like, yeah. It's like, dude, you guys are so fucking phony. Like, the whole argument, the fact that's even an argument in the first place. First off, anyone who wasn't there and wasn't listening in those spaces at the time shouldn't have an opinion because you just needed to see it. And that's another thing I brought up. Can't we pull these spaces back now? And that's when Tupa blocked me, is when I brought that up. I was like, well, can't we go get the. It was a Logan space, I'm pretty sure. I can probably pinpoint the date pretty close. It was summer a couple years ago, but like no, Tupa blocked me at that point. But him targeting my weaknesses like drug addiction stuff and weaponizing that's where I was like, dude, fuck these guys, I'm out of here. I talked some shit to Chase. I think I called him like a Tupa dick sucker or something in DMs. It is what it is. I mean, I stand by everything I say. I do think these guys are they just won't go against these bigger accounts, and it's strange, and it's like the thirst for followers is above everything for these guys. It's just nuts, man. But all right, well, I said my piece.